So better late than never. But we got Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out just in a couple months. May 25th is the official release date. We talked about that a few weeks ago. I am over the moon about this. You have no idea. I am a huge Star Wars fan. I can't wait for this show. Ewan McGregor is one of my favorite actors.
Yep.
And I can't wait. But we've all been wondering, when are we going to get our first look at this? I mean, we're just a couple months out. When are we going to get our first look at it? Well, my boy Jason Ward over at Star Wars or MakingStarWars.net, which if you haven't checked out, I did an interview with him. Check it out on the channel. Jason Ward is saying that the upcoming trailer, the trailer for the upcoming Obi-Wan show, is due to release this Wednesday, March 9th. So that is when he's saying we should be seeing our first look at the Obi-Wan show, which I'm really excited about. Now, Jason's pretty good at this stuff. He's been kind of in the Star Wars scoop game for a number of years. And I won't really say scoop game. He's given information from time to time that he'll throw out there and just say, hey, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing this. And it does come true. Not all the time, but it does come true. I mean, we all know how that game can be. We know how it can
hit and miss for sure. But if you hit for the most part, that's definitely definitely contributes to your credibility for sure. So yeah, no, for sure. It's fascinating, honestly. It's
I'll let you. No, I want to.
My expectations. So, like as you said, obviously Obi-Wan's Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is probably my favorite character from the prequel series. I'm not gonna lie to you. So to see his story continue after this amount of time that's passed by, it's interesting. Honestly, I feel like they don't even really need to drop a trailer relatively soon. I think it kind of sells itself at this point. You have Anakin coming back. You have Obi-Wan coming back. Let's see what happens and let's see what makes it and see what transpires. But I think just the natural intrigue from Star Wars fans to see what happened in between the stories that we know and that unknown area in his timeline is just kind of a selling point in and of itself, honestly. I don't know about you, but I am fully expecting another lightsaber scene that kind of either reflects or even surpasses the fight scene that we obviously know from episode 3 so well. So I think personally it's going to be fascinating. Me personally, if I'm running Disney's marketing team, I'm totally dropping that trailer May 4th and letting that trailer rock for the whole time and then just wait for the fans to come out with it. I think it's one of those properties and series that truly sells itself based on nostalgia and just pure intrigue, honestly. So I cannot wait. My expectation, I'm not really too entirely sure what to expect, I guess, story-wise. Obviously, watching The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, sometimes the show can get a little sidetracked, but given that it seems like it's going to be a limited series, I think the focus will be pretty heavy on what we want to see and probably going to leave little to no room for, I guess, the extra fat, I guess you could say, around shows like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we delve right into the action as soon as the moment hits. So I couldn't be more excited, honestly.
So I got a lot to say about that. But first, let me say this. I am a sucker. Ken, you and I, we've only started really talking and discussing things. And one thing about me, I am a huge sucker for trailers. I love everything about trailers. I love predicting when we're going to get them. I love analyzing them. I love doing all of that with trailers because to me, that's like a mini movie. Yeah. In a way, and it's like an appetizer. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not a big guy, and I do love me some mozzarella sticks. So when it comes to appetizers, I love it. And that same things with trailers. I love trailers. And I thought that we were going to get this trailer. Well, I won't say I thought. Somebody actually passed me some information that we were supposed to get this trailer around the week of the Super Bowl.
Okay, which makes sense.
Not during the Super Bowl, but around that time. But I don't know if that information that they sent me was just bullshit or if it was, legit and they made changes. The one thing about Star Wars I've noticed is when it comes to their trailers, they do it at an opportune time where nothing else is really going on. Yep. So this week, coming out this week would really make sense because there's nothing going on. We got an Apple showcase tomorrow,
right? And that's
Wednesday, and that's it. So there's nothing going on.
And a trailer for Obi-Wan will just quite literally break the internet. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So
it's 100% it. So that's why I'm leaning more that this makes a lot of sense, because the further into the year that we start getting to other marketings for other films starting to ramp up, such as
Yep.
Doctor Strange and Jurassic World and all
Yep.
of that. So it makes sense to me. Now,
It definitely seems like they are not running out of an opportune time, because they are going to have to ramp up their. I mean, marketing for Moon Knight is in full force right now, but obviously there is a tight window that they have to operate in, because they are obviously going to have to start focusing on Doctor Strange, which more than likely will be their next big tentpole film. So
yeah, yeah.
it definitely makes sense for them to drop it at a more quieter time. So obviously, the rage of Batman, I personally feel like, is still going on right now. So I don't know about next week being the most opportune time, since I feel like the heat for Batman will not be dying down anytime soon.
Here's
But
the thing, though, like Batman, they got out of the first weekend of Batman, which is
yeah,
the big week, the
yep,
big, you know, push for that. Now it's going to be all right. Well, let's show this Obi-Wan trailer and take some wind out of the
Thunder,
sails
yep.
for DC. And I think that's
Always the good
kind of what
rivalry.
they're doing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And that would make sense to me. And to get to your point where you're like, oh, I hope we see, or I think we're going to see a big lightsaber battle and all of this. Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars.net. I'm actually going to pull this up because his website's pretty cool, and he puts everything where it's easy to figure out and see, which I really enjoy about his website. And he has, and I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's watching our show. But if you want to go to MakingStarWars.net, he's got some really cool possible spoilers for the upcoming show, such as some other characters, who these characters are going to be, what they mean to Obi-Wan. Luke Skywalker, is he going to be involved? Is Princess Leia going to be involved? And it goes through. He's got a good bit of it here, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And again, he doesn't miss very often. So if you're somebody who loves spoilers, if you like knowing, if you don't care about knowing, because for me, I like spoilers. It doesn't ruin a movie for me. It just doesn't, because believe it or not, for me, the joy for me going to the movies is the fan reaction. That is
Okay.
what I love the most, because when I'm sitting there, especially because big movies I'll see multiple times.
Mhm.
Normally, I'll go to like the midnight premiere, the 7 o'clock premiere, and then that weekend I'll take my kids.
Yep.
And when I take my kids, I like to just sit back and I'm like, Spider-Man No Way Home, for instance, when Andrew and Toby show up,
Mayhem, absolute mayhem in
sitting
both
back,
viewings.
exactly, sitting back and experiencing all those fans getting excited and my kids getting excited. That is that is more exciting for me than to be excited. I know I'm strange in that way, but I do. I love that about films. So for me, spoilers don't bother me at all.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm still getting over being sick, so
That no, it's
coughing
trying
here.
times nowadays.
Oh, it's terrible. All right. Let's move on.